Am I the asshole for hiding what I got left by my grandma from my stepsister? My parents are divorced. I, 16 female, lost my grandma from COVID in April. She left me her really cute and also delicate jewelry and all the jewelry she had gathered over the years, including some nice necklaces, bracelets and rings. Her engagement ring was there too, but my dad kept that safe for me anyway because I think he was a little worried my mom would try to claim it. Anyway, when the stuff first made it into the house, my stepsister, 14 female, took an interest in everything I had and wanted to look and touch and for me to share, and I told her no. She was upset and said we need to share things, and I told her not when it was sentimentally valuable and something my grandma left me. She told me we're sisters so I should share, and I told her no, because she has nothing to do with my dad's side of the family. It got more heated. My stepdad wanted me to share. My mom told me to let her use one thing occasionally, and eventually I had enough of trying to protect it, especially after I caught her searching my room for it, and I made the decision to leave it at my dad's, and then I decided to live there more than here. So I only see my mom every other weekend, and my mom still thinks I should have left it there for sharing. I explained my decision to her and she told me that it's unfair for me not to share when I would with a bio sister. I told her I would if my grandma was their grandma, but she has nothing to do with my grandma and never did. She told me that's not fair when she's as much my sister as a bio would be, and I said no, she's not when it comes to my dad and my paternal family, because she will never be part of their lives or get anything from them, and she's not entitled to it. I said she has her dad's family if she wants that kind of relationship. My stepsister has been calling me AB ever since I took the box away. Am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. You handled that situation very well, and I'm appalled that the adults in the house couldn't respect your decision.
Not the asshole, not even close on this one. Who demands someone else's sentimental inheritance? Your mom is the biggest a-hole because she should be the adult voice of reason. Plus, it's not her late mother's jewelry, so why is she involved? Your dad keeping the engagement ring safe is very telling of your mom's behavior. Glad you have your dad's place to get away to and somethings to remember your grandma.
Not the asshole. I may even try reframing it. To me these are precious mementos of my beloved grandmother. To my stepsister these are funky accessories. She didn't have a connection with my grandmother to cherish these things appropriately. Therefore I'm not interested in sharing them. It's your stuff and you decide what you're comfortable sharing. Not the asshole. The stuff is the final gift from your grandma, the value it holds because of that is incalculable. Blended families are tricky, I get them wanting equality and fairness, but that should apply to how they treat you etc., and has no bearing on your inheritance. The lack of respect for your boundaries isn't pleasant. Is your stepsister normally indulged? Used to having her own way?
Not the asshole. These are inherited items from a beloved family member that step is not at all related to. Your steps and your mother are being greedy.
Ask your mum if she'd be happy for you to give some of her mum's jewelry to your dad's wife's daughter. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Everyone has their right to exclusive use of some sentimental objects. It doesn't matter if it's your sibling or step-sibling. If your grandma and stepsister had a close enough relationship, your grandma would have likely left her something of unique and sentimental significance, and she wouldn't have had to share that with you either. Sharing is important, but you have a right to some boundaries.
Not the asshole. Does your stepsister's bio mum get you stuff? Does her mum's family get you stuff? These are items that have value to you, because of your bond with your grandma. You don't have to share them, and good on you for moving them to your dad's, cause it wouldn't have been long before she was just taking them.
Not the asshole. Your stepsister has nothing to do with your grandmother at all. Your grandmother meant those items solely for you. Props to you to hiding and moving your family heirlooms to your father's house. Don't let your mom, her husband and his kid get their hands on anything that your grandmother left you. They sound like assholes that wouldn't respect it and would end up breaking it.
It is amazing to me so many parents don't believe in private property.
Not the asshole. My grandmother left me her jewelry, but all of it was stolen by my family. That happened over 55 years ago and it still pisses me off. Your stepsister is jealous and entitled. Keeping all the jewelry is a smart move, don't let anyone pressure you to do otherwise.
Not the asshole at all, whatsoever, in the slightest. I'm so sorry your stepsister is acting so entitled, your stepdad is enabling her, and your mom is guilting you. Those pieces are all very sentimental and your loss is still so recent. It's absolutely disgusting they are not respecting you over this. You are absolutely in the right.
Not the asshole. Wow, the entitlement. I have a half-sister, we share the same female parent. When my dad and paternal grandparents died, she didn't expect anything from his estate, because they were my relatives not hers. I never heard a peep about her using my inheritance, and we are actual sisters and I inherited a well-maintained heritage house along with the contents and a house maintenance trust.
Not the asshole. Sometimes sharing with step-siblings is the right thing to do, but in this instance, you have the right to refuse to share those valuable things with her as they are solely yours from a family not related to your step-family. You did the right thing leaving them at your dad's house, especially since your mom is not backing you up and enforcing boundaries. I bet if the shoe was on the other foot, your step-sibling would not have been forced to share. It's like double standards. Just out of curiosity, does your dad know what's going on? If not, speak to him as he might be able to talk to your mom and get her to back down about sharing the jewelry. Best of luck, Op.
Not the asshole. Screw their entitlement. Your grandma wanted you to have that stuff. You aren't obligated to share.
Not the asshole. You know, there is a famous story, book, movie about a girl who loses family and the stepsisters demand access to all the inherited belongings. Cinderella. This is a tale that has been happening for centuries. You would think that your mother would teach your stepsister the right thing. You aren't Cinderella. She doesn't need access to your grandmother's jewelry. Rent your mom the movie and let her know that she is acting like a wicked stepmom.
Not the asshole. Very common for young jealous stepsiblings to destroy or steal items of sentimental value. Her entitled behavior makes it pretty damned clear you made the right choice.
NTA. You were smart to keep it with your dad. She was going to lose that jewelry.
Not the asshole at all. I'm sorry for your loss. Your sister is being a brat about this, especially since, as you said in another comment, she never even met your grandmother. You handled this in a very mature way. Just ignore your stepsister. The items are yours and you can keep them wherever you want to. Not the asshole. As you said, it was left to you by your grandmother. Therefore it is yours, not hers.
Not the asshole. Your family apparently doesn't understand how inheritance works. If your grandma intended for your stepsister to have some of this jewelry, she would have bequeathed it to her. You do not have to go against her intent just to make your sister feel better. Your sister is being selfish, and you mom and stepdad are being unreasonable and aren't respecting your boundaries. You handled this situation very well and are right to keep it at your dad's, because I guarantee that the second you weren't around, your sister would have helped herself to the jewelry, and your mom and stepdad would have seen nothing wrong with her doing so.
The jewelry was left to Op specifically, not the grandkids. If the sister was a full sister, Op would still not have to share. Not the asshole. And #X200B. OMG, no one has any obligation to share anything.
Not the asshole. There's no requirement for sisters to share jewelry even if it's not sentimental. It's wrong of your mother to force this and you are well within your rights to protect your jewelry by leaving it at your dad's house.
She told me that it's unfair for me not to share when I would with a bio sister. If it was a bio sister you wouldn't have to share since grandma would probably have divided the jewelry and given her her own pieces. Stepsis needs to build her own relationship with her grandma. She doesn't get to demand sentimental items left by a woman she had no relationship with. Not the asshole.
I'm so sorry for the loss of your grandma. You're lucky to have some precious items to remember her by. Cherish them always. Be absolutely straight in your mind that the only person with any right to control what happens to that jewelry is you. Well done for standing your ground in what is a really messed up example of bullying from your mother, stepdad and stepsister. You did the right thing in moving the jewelry to your dad's and it sounds like he'll keep it safe and away from prying eyes and hands. Unless you feel a face-to-face conversation would work, you might consider writing your mom a letter explaining how her actions have made you feel and how you wish to proceed with contact in the future. Good luck. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Why are kids taught they have to share under any and all circumstances? If we're talking about a giant piece of chocolate, then fine. But sentimental pieces from a deceased grandma? You're being manipulated, Op.
I am so tired of the thought that a step or half-sibling has to share something with their sibling when it came from their side of the family. I have half-siblings and we do not expect things from the other's family side. It isn't right, they aren't our family. Your grandmother was not hers. She has no right to anything, especially since nothing was left to her. Being stepsisters, half-sisters, or anything does not mean you have to share diddly squat. It is yours left to you by your family. Edited to add, not the asshole.
It seems to me that you are more adult than your mom or stepdad. You handled the situation well and are out of the situation. You're right about the relationship between your late grandmother and your stepsister. Remember that there is no reason to let abusive people in your life. Maybe talking to your dad about the continued abuse would be a good idea. It can't be fun, even 4 days a month, having someone verbally abuse you. Not the asshole.
NTA. Sharing doesn't mean what they are using it to mean. What unique irreplaceable sentimental items is your stepsis sharing with you? Oh, none. Well, that's not sharing then, that's a giver and a taker.
Not the asshole. I understand your mom wanting you to see your stepsister as a bio-sister, but you can't force a child to just feel that way. Especially since you are already a teenager and know a bit more about how the world works and have developed your own opinion on things. You handled this more maturely than many people my age, mid-20s, would. It's sad that you have to, but definitely worth a compliment to your character and behavior. You do you and enjoy living with your, hopefully drama-free, dad.
Not the asshole. What precious heirlooms from her family is she sharing with you?
Absolutely not the asshole. Fact that your stepsis was searching your room should tell you she isn't above stealing your inheritance. Your mom is the worst. As an adult she should respect you and your boundaries. Instead she sides with her stepdaughter. Sheesh.
Not the asshole for all the reasons you said. This just new jewelry to her. It's more than that to you. It's something very sentimental to you and again, not her. Leave it at your father's house. I'm glad he kept the engagement ring for you. I have strong feeling he was right on the reasons.
Not the asshole, even with a bio-sister if she was always taking something without asking, or didn't get the meaning of the word no I would not share with her.
Info. Would she share her grandmother's inheritance with you? Not the asshole. Take pictures of the jewelry in case it ever gets stolen. Email them to yourself and your dad. Check with your dad if his homeowner's or renter's insurance would cover jewelry theft or destruction.
Info. How well do you normally get along with your stepsister? Is it a common occurrence for you to borrow each other's jewelry or clothes? Is she a careless person or someone who's really careful in how she treats her own things or other people's things? Is she clumsy and do things tend to end up broken when she has them for a while?
Not the asshole. These are reflective of a sentimental connection to your grandmother, one that your stepsister doesn't share and isn't respectful of.
Not the asshole. Your sister is too superficial. Those jewelry held no meaning to her except decoration for her little pretty face. Your dad had the right idea keeping the ring safe.
You can tell her, she gets some of your dad's mom's jewelry, once you get some of her dad's mom's jewelry. Not the asshole, by the way. Not the asshole. Ultimately, it's you who decides whether your stepfamily was close enough to your grandmother to share in having her things. As you say, they weren't. They had no relationship with her and now are coveting your property. Sharing of valuable property isn't something anyone would even mention to you if you were a grown adult. But because you're 16 and a parent sees their other child distressed, they want to fix it by taking your property. That's not okay at all, and you're not in the wrong for saying no. I absolutely agree with your responses and commend your maturity.
I believe mom just want to keep peace, which is typical. I honestly hate this peacekeeper family members who make others the doormat while themselves are largely not the side who get disadvantaged by the peacemaking policy. Not the asshole op, and keep those keepsakes away from your step family and your mom. Also your stepsis is the B, also the word share. Imply your stepsis wants to own those jewelries, not just borrowing in return. She is just one step away from stealing them.
Not the asshole. If you didn't hide your jewelry box, you would never see what is yours again. Your stepsister would keep some, taking the risk to lose some. This is your inheritance. You have no obligation to share or let her wear some, especially since she didn't take no for an answer and search the box in your room, then involve her dad and your mum to get her way. Keep the box at your dad's house and limit your time at your mum for a while to avoid negative environment.
NTA. If she was your bio sister, you wouldn't have to share. Your grandmother would have left her half of that.
Not the asshole. It was left to you. Not you and your sister.
Not the asshole. I don't understand the entitlements step-siblings have sometimes. Even with real siblings, I don't believe in sharing everything. Your grandma left those for you. You and you only get to decide what to do with them.
Surprised that the adults couldn't support the boundaries you set for this stuff. No one is entitled to anything, let alone something that has a high sentimental value. I think you handled the situation well, but I would also talk to your mom about it, the boundary thing.